Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in.
Hi everyone.
Welcome, welcome. We'll get started very shortly. Thank you for joining us. I know it's lunchtime. I hope that you're sitting down somewhere, relaxing, getting a break, and just tuning in with us. This is going to be a fun time, and I hope that you find this information engaging and informative as well as enjoyable. So I do want to start off with a few housekeeping items that we are recording this webinar. So if you are uncomfortable with the recording, unfortunately, we will be continuing the recording and we'll be happy to send this recording to you at the end. With that being said, please enter your information in the chat. I'd love to know who's joined us today and get some engagement going. At the end, we'll have some Q&A. So let's get started, and I'll give you a little background and context of Let's Grind and Leave Tobacco Behind. This is a brainchild of our special presenter today, Jasmine Hooper. She is an AATCLC Council member. She's also the Advocacy Strategy and Partnerships Manager, Voices for Healthy Kids with the American Heart Association. And we are so happy to have you, Jasmine. Welcome. And for
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. For those who don't know me, my name is Yolande Burris, and I'm the program manager for Amplify, the African American statewide coordinating center. And we put on various webinars such as these, outside of the box thinking and strategies to really help you to engage the African American and Black diaspora. Next slide. So tailored assistance is what our coordinating center does. We can accomplish goals together. And I pride myself on collaborating with others who have like-minded visions, such as yourselves. So Amplify now has over 7 years of experience engaging California's African American and Black diaspora. We serve individuals, businesses, community-based organizations, local lead agencies, and California Tobacco Program regional grantee projects. The type of tailored support that we could provide with this particular community engagement strategy is developing a customized strategy that would engage African Americans and Black diaspora within your community and within your districts. And also referrals to local resources in your community that may be interested in doing community engagement collaborations with you. And I've also enclosed my information at the bottom of this slide, and I'll make sure I put it in the chat as well. Please feel free to reach out with questions or concerns, ideas. I'm happy to collaborate with you. Next slide. So I have a brief learning objective before I introduce Jasmine. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to go over Gen Z and millennials and help you to garner an understanding of why creating wellness community campaigns may be successful with the Gen Z and millennial demographics. Next slide. So I know we got a couple of definite millennials here, but maybe even Gen Zers. And if you weren't too familiar with them, I'm going to fill you in on some really great, I thought was eye-opening findings and data. So Gen Z is born from 1997 through 2012, and they're known for adaptiveness with technology, having witnessed the rapid advancement of technology and development from a very young age. And then we have our millennials, which I'm sure we have many on this particular webinar, are born from 1981 through 1996, and they're considered first generation. They have largely grown up on the internet, modern technology, and social media. So, with the exception of family, millennials value health the most. And in a recent study, 79% said that family was most important in their lives, but it was followed by health and wellness at 53%, friends down at 39%, spirituality at 31%, and career at 27%. So, wellness is a daily activity that many millennials pursue. They eat healthier, they're exercising more than previous generations, they're smoking less, and almost half consider eating healthy and the lifestyle choices as opposed to having like goal-driven diets. Next slide. So we'll see here in Gen Z and millennials that nearly half of the millennials, post-millennial, which is Gen Z, are made up of racial and ethnic minorities. And particularly the Latino, Hispanic, and Asian demographic is higher for post-millennials. And then you'll see here that millennials also are at 39%. So many of people in Gen Z and our millennials are focused on health and wellness, and they are considered priority populations. So this is even more of a strategy for you to go forth in the work that you do. Next slide. So Gen Z, millennials, and smoking. And as you know, and I'm sure you're very well versed in this, so I only added one slide. Gen Z is most likely to use e-cigarettes among all adults, and Gen Z and millennials were more likely to be dual users of e-cigarettes and cigarettes compared with adults over age 45. And also another fun fact was that Gen Z was more likely to engage with hookah as opposed to millennials. Next slide. All right, that was my brief overview just to give you context into Jasmine's presentation and the great strategy that she utilized in Atlanta. So Jasmine is based in Atlanta. She's a community advocate and member of the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council. She's led the Hills for ATL Takeover campaign, a fitness initiative that raised awareness about the impact of menthol tobacco on Black communities. Through her work with the American Heart Association, Jasmine developed and replicated an event framework that is now being utilized nationwide. She's dedicated to advancing health equity and empowering communities to take action against tobacco's harmful effects. Jasmine Hooper.
Thank you so much, Elon, and thank you to everyone who's joining today. I'm very happy to be here and excited to talk about the Let's Grind and Leave Menthol Behind initiative, or tobacco, I should say. I recognize that there are people actually from across the country on this webinar. I thought it was just going to be California folks, but I'm seeing North Carolina, New Jersey. So I know we all are at different stages of, tobacco control and prevention work and policy and legislation. So, plug in where you will, but in Atlanta, we had the Let's Grind and Leave Menthol Behind campaign, if you will. And, maybe in your state, you may have Let's Grind and Leave Tobacco Behind because you've already passed laws banning menthol in your state, but you're looking to do some tobacco endgame work. So today, I would like to go over with folks how to replicate this grassroots campaign. We will share tools. I'll go over them on this webinar, and we will share them out at the end, and templates that you can take back to your own community, and of course, real life examples and lessons learned. And please do feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and we will get to them at the end for question and answer. So Let's Grind and Leave Menthol Behind, the Hillsborough ATL Takeover. So on June 19th and September 28th of 2024, I, along with several other partners, took over a weekly workout that is called Hillsborough ATL. And this event was so well attended. As you can see, this is a picture from our event on June 19th, and you'll see more footage from the event on on September 28th. But the whole purpose of this takeover was to go where people already are and kind of replicate a tactic that the tobacco industry has long done, which is show up to where large gatherings of particularly young people are and push their products, especially Black people when we think about menthol products. So I thought, hey, there's a large gathering every week of young people, professionals, Gen Z millennials who are prioritizing their health. And it's also a really great opportunity for community building. And it's known as like, it's an opportunity to socialize. And so I thought, let's go where they are and let's take over this event, just like how the tobacco industry has done in the past. So again, Hills for ATL, just this is an Atlanta-based workout group, but I'm sure in your state, maybe you have a run club or you have some free community workout that's happening that you can try to take over in your own state. So it is a free weekly community workout founded by a local Atlanta fitness influencer. His name was Alvin Bailey. And like I said earlier, it matters because this event engages hundreds of young, health conscious, diverse Atlantans. And as you saw in the previous picture, the number is not exaggeration. About 400 to 500 people come out every week to these events. So our goals were to raise awareness, mobilize community, and also build policy pressure. And I'll touch on that last point a little later. But I just love the energy of these pictures from the event. You will see that people were very excited to don our shirts, and it's a great marketing tactic. So I would love to share with you all a recap video. And Elon, when I press play, just let me know if the sound is playing. But this is a recap video from our first takeover event on June 19th.
Jasmine, no sound.
Okay, sorry, y'all, give me 1 second. Hmm.
If you go to the share screen
Mm-hmm.
box, there's um, sound for video on the right options under.
I don't have that option. Elon, I think you might be the one who has that option. Let me see.
Under layouts, share sound, optimize for video sharing.
Yeah, I don't think I have that option in mine. Well, you all can hear me. Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just talk through it. Um, so as you see, wonderful turnout. We had cutouts. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a interview happening while you all can't hear. Maybe you have the option to share the video with volume on your end.
Jasmine, I entered the video into the chat.
So you all see so many people are this event really engaged. I'm still trying to figure out how to share my sound. Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna move on if we don't have any sound. And Yolande, maybe if you can just prepare, um, let's see if we can share some sound for the next video since it'll be on a separate link. So, um, so this was a flyer that we created and we shared out. Um, just wanted to give a visual for folks if you want to replicate it. And we did create most of the stuff on Canvas, so I'm definitely open to sharing it with folks if you just want to plug in your logo and plug in your information, try to make it as easy as possible. And so let's try to play the second recap video. And the audio is going to be really important here because for this event, since we already had such a powerful visual aid there with that recap video, we wanted to focus more on interviewing attendees of this event. And this was going to be really important to share back with our city council members to show them, hey, we want to see the city of Atlanta or our local, Fulton County government pass policies that are banning the sale of flavored tobacco and menthol products. And again, you may be in a different stage in your city or your state, but this video really helped because for the elected officials that can't be there, it made them feel like they were. So let's see, Yolande, just let me know if you all can, or Yolande, since you have the link open, are you able to share your screen right now and pull up the video so that you can, since you know how to work the sound?
Think so. Let me
Okay,
try
just
to.
bear with us, y'all. I appreciate your patience. Um, I'm checking out the chat. Definitely love seeing the representation here. All right. Yolande, do you have the Vimeo link up?
I do. It's not
Okay.
allowing me to share the sound, so I'm gonna try this. Let me know if you could hear it on my end.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
No, not able to hear the sound. I don't know. I guess sorry you all. Zoom is not giving us the option to share a sound. You don't see
Beautiful
I
thing.
I'm sorry.
Did you hear something
Oh,
that?
I did.
Oh,
To come out
Oh, okay,
and
there you
see
go.
our
Let's start
community
it over.
waking up early on a Saturday morning and coming out and prioritizing their health. They're working out for 1 hour. They're
Okay.
communing with other people. It's a free community event, and it's just a wonderful gathering. A lot of people are not aware of the harms of flavored tobacco and menthol products. Over 45,000 African Americans lose their lives to tobacco-related diseases. It is so important for us to continue to raise awareness in the community, not only raise awareness, but get them mobilized to take action steps against big tobacco predatory tactics.
Actually having an escape that's helping you better your health is the way to go. You know what I mean? Like if you want to depress with hookah or tobacco or whatever it might be, that's going to harm you in the long run. You know what I mean? So like being healthy and doing it in a physical way is the best way. And that's the way to do it. How you doing, little man? Good work.
We don't even understand. We think it's cool. It's in every club. It's in every restaurant that you do. It's like hookahs, vaping, all this advertising about how nice and cool it is. But we don't understand that we're still bringing in that menthol. We're still killing our bodies with tobacco. And people don't understand that. Having a tobacco-free, menthol-free Atlanta is important just for our health. We're growing. We want to be a healthy, vibrant city. I make sure that I work out for my mental health, for my physical health, for my overall health. You got to take care of yourself. Make sure you're doing those things so that you're able to live long, do everything that you want to be able to do in life.
The more we work out, the more it's a stress reliever. We don't want to be going to vices like menthol. We don't want to go to cigarettes. We don't want to go to alcohol or drugs. If you can stay fit, it will help relieve your stress.
Me personally, we're trying to live a healthier lifestyle without drinking. So smoking falls in that category. So I'm taking a holistic approach to health, whether it's exercising, eating clean, and making sure that I'm not putting harmful things into my body. So I take a stance against it.
As a culture, I think we just need to be aware of the things that we put in our body and the environments that we surround ourselves in. Just thinking about how we want our life to look 20, 30 years down the line. Do we want to be going to the doctor's office constantly and having many, many health issues? Or do we want to be able to go on walks, still go on runs, and enjoy our kids and future grandkids? And I think that's something we need to keep in mind.
I feel like smoking and just drugs in general, they kind of suppress the momentary feeling. But I think health and wellness can help you reshape your mind. It can help you reshape your perspective on your pain, physical and mental.
When you have a healthy life, you can go further in life compared to others, and especially the country that we live in with addiction and food and menthol, cigarettes, drinking, so much propaganda out there. It's kind of good to just stay healthy. You feel a lot better. You can do a lot more things and your spirit's more free.
Some of us are still working to let go of tobacco. We're working to take on healthier practices to alleviate our stress. This is one of them. And that's why our partnership with Hills Free ATL is so powerful, because we are going into the community. We're working with people who care about their health, and we're saying, hey, let's grind and leave menthol behind.
Okay, the sound went out a little bit at the end, but thank you so much, Yolanda. So at the end, the whole group yelled out, let's grind and leave menthol behind. So this is a really powerful event. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen here. Y'all just give me a moment. So that was part 2. And, those were participants who just showed up. We did not prepare them with talking points. We did not, say anything. I just asked the videographer, I just said, hey, if you can just pluck up a few participants who would be excited to get on camera and explain what a tobacco-free or menthol-free Atlanta would mean to them. And you see the participants, they were just so articulate, and they really understood the importance of prioritizing our health and letting go of these harmful products. And so activating the community. And like I said earlier, the reason why we chose this free community workout event is because we want to meet the community where they are physically and culturally. Okay, so now I would like to go over this planning guide that everyone will receive at the end of this webinar. Can folks see? So many pop-ups now, but can y'all see this? Yolanda, can you see this planning guide here?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So like I said, everyone will receive this at the end. And what this guide is, of course, I'm giving some background and just an overview on why we are recommending that you partner with a gym or a sports team or a free community workout. And I give some details on marketing and outreach. Another one of the great things about Hills for ATL is they have a huge social media presence. I put this number 30,000 followers back like last year. They're probably, I could check right now, they're probably in the 6 figures now, but they have such a huge following. And this organization or this group, they're very popular in Atlanta. Like everyone kind of knows about it. And so when we have Hills for ATL sharing our recap footage or sharing just pictures of everyone in these t-shirts that say, let's grind and leave menthol behind, even if people didn't attend the actual event, for whatever reason, they're still receiving that positive messaging. And what I love is that in the comments of these posts, you'll see people like, you know, lamenting on the similar sentiment of, yes, like the tobacco industry is too deeply embedded in our community in Atlanta. And the wonderful thing is what we know is that you don't just take away a harmful product or an addictive product. You have to replace it with something good. And so this partnering with Host for ATL and, you know, saying let's grind and leave menthol behind is essentially connecting the two. Like, let's leave the tobacco products behind and let's replace it with healthier coping mechanisms, healthier ways to alleviate our stress. As you all heard the gentleman in the interview sharing that, you know, the tobacco products, they provide a temporary high, but as everyone pretty much said, choosing your health, working out, being in community has lifelong benefits. So marketing outreach is key. We also, this was a paid sponsorship, but here in Atlanta, as I'm sure many other cities, have like a newsletter that said like what's happening in Atlanta. And so let me see if I can open this link. So we did a paid sponsorship with Access Atlanta, and just to kind of let the community know, hey, we're having this event, you know, on September 28th or June 19th, I think this was that ad for it. And we described the event, and one of the great things, let's see if the link still works. But when you register, let's see if it works. When you register for the event, we're taking your information and we're basically putting you into our online listserv, and that allows us to remain connected with these people, whether they actually attended the event or not. And we can, you know, remain connected with them when we need them to reach out to their local council members or, you know, any other events happening. So if folks on the line have a way to similarly, you know, collect these email addresses either in person, or if you have kind of a platform like this where you can collect email addresses like a campaign page, that would be really great. So also in terms of marketing and messaging, I went through a leadership program that the AATCLC has every year, and we talked quite a bit around how the tobacco industry uses and manipulates marketing and language and subliminal messaging and images. And so I really did not want to use any punitive language. I didn't want to use the word no. I wanted to be very careful on what language we use. And so that's how we came up with the let's grind and leave menthol behind. It's culturally relevant and it's also positive and it's exciting. Yeah, so this was our slogan. And as you can see in both videos, we had really great giveaways and people were so excited about the t-shirts. They actually wanted to purchase them and we had to tell them, no, it's for free. We don't want your money. But they were really good quality, dry fit shirts, perfect for working out. And people were really excited about them. So we had, at the first event, we had the water bottles and the t-shirts and we had snacks, healthy snacks and waters. And we also had a Black-owned vendor come out who has healthy ices, sugar-free, natural ices. For the second event that you all saw that happened in September 28th, we had much more giveaways. We had, you might have saw that the gentleman had the cross-body bag that had the Let's Grind Leave Menthol behind. We gave away fanny packs. We gave away stretch bands, workout stretch bands that have Let's Grind and Leave Menthol behind. We gave away some of those fitness watches that track your steps, that track your heartbeat and all that stuff. What else? We gave away sweat towels that are specifically for working out, and we gave away t-shirts. And we gave away snacks. I always like to have snacks and water, healthy snacks and water. And if you need a vendor, the vendor that I used for both of those events, I can definitely share that also. But as you can see, along with the giveaways, we also wanted to have fun stuff. I forget what those are called, but it's like photo booth things to hold up for people to take pictures and just get excited about it. So you see how we said choose life, not menthol. And we have these really fun photo cutouts, which is just really great. I mean, you all see the joy, you see that they are promoting the messaging. And even though this was a event that we only had twice, these pictures, we can reuse them. They're going to be timeless. Or really, hopefully they're not. Hopefully there will come a day where we won't have to be saying this, but you know, we can always reuse these images. So it's really, really great here. More great images and more cutouts. Again, this is our flyer if you just need a template. And we also have a full event album in this guide that you'll receive. I go over event execution. The YouTube link for the first video is embedded in this guide if you want to watch it again with the sound. I talked about the importance of hiring vendors that are Black owned. So every single vendor, from the giveaway vendor and the t-shirt vendor, the photographer, videographer, the IC vendor, everyone was Black owned. And again, this was on Juneteenth, so that was really critical for us to share. And also that vendor that I shared, the IC vendor, they also have they're also a nonprofit in a sense, where they hire young Black boys to come work, to get work experience, to just get exposed to the world. And so we had a lot of young boys working that event. So that was really great. I do provide a guide on how to replicate it. Identify a local community gathering. Again, that could be a run club. You can partner with a local gym. You can partner with a sports team if you have that relationship. You can, bring in community partners that you already have. So we definitely partnered with some local partners here who are also doing tobacco control work, and that just made it all the more powerful. So I give some checklists here, and yeah, so that is the guide. And I'm gonna go back to the slides. And like I said, at the end, I'm definitely gonna answer any questions that are popping up in the chat. I'm not able to keep track of both. All right, this thing keeps going back. Just give me 1 second, y'all, bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna share from here. So, as I mentioned before, again, the messaging is so important, especially when you're thinking about Gen Z and millennial audiences. Most Gen Z and millennials know that tobacco isn't safe. Now, even though the tobacco industry does try to confuse with all these healthy alternatives, most people already know it's not a good habit. So instead of wagging our finger and saying, you shouldn't do that, it's going to kill you, or any of this stuff, I wanted to present it as it's a good look to be healthy. It's sexy to prioritize your health and put the tobacco aside. That's not cool. I really wanted this event to paint that picture. So again, like I said, the giveaways got people interested and excited. I think the healthy snacks and the waters at a workout event, people really appreciated that. It showed that we cared, and we weren't too pushy. I know you all couldn't see the end of the first video, but we really didn't talk a whole lot. At the very end, we had an opportunity to just kind of share some brief talking points to everyone, but it really was just a very subliminal way to, to get into their minds and give them stuff to go home with. That way, they'll always remember to grind and leave menthol behind. All right, and so also on the back of the shirt, I know you can't see it, but we put language that says we are embracing our tobacco-free future. So again, I can't stress the importance of positive messaging and having cool messengers. So Alvin Bailey, who is the founder and CEO of Hillspray TL, he is a young millennial Black man who's just a real influencer in the community. And so having him essentially as a spokesperson for this issue really gave us credibility and allowed people to receive us well. All right, so we review the planning guide. All right, so just quickly, I'd like to talk about post-event engagement. Okay, sorry, y'all, these links. Okay. So as far as post-event engagement, this is really important. It's almost just as important as putting on a really great event. So a key part of our post-event engagement was having the recap video, was having all these wonderful pictures, because look, we're almost a year later and I can still share them and they're still relevant, and they still look really good. So if you are able to, I recommend, even if you can't hire a videographer, make sure that you're getting great footage, make sure that you're getting interviews. So that's going to be really important. Again, I mentioned earlier, having an email sign-up list. That way you can capture folks. You may not get everyone, you may have hundreds of people coming out to this event, but there will always be a select few or a handful of people who come up to you afterwards and say, wow, I'm really glad that you put this out there, because, I once was a smoker and I let it go, or I wish more people, didn't. So, and you want to have a mechanism to capture those folks and their information. Share the recap on social media, and not just you and your organization, but that's why it's good to have partners. So see if you can have an agreement with the gym or with the host workout group, if they can repost the video. And if your content is good enough, they'll do it naturally. So, the Alvin Bailey of Hills for ATL, he reposted the content, because it just showed how amazing his event was. We got good footage of how many people came out. So it was kind of a natural thing. But I will say something that wasn't shown was, we actually recorded a video PSA, or like a infomercial with Alvin and with two actors. And I say actors, they are actors, but they're not known and famous. They only cost us $50 each. But we had two actors come, and they basically they acted like they just did the workout, and we recorded a natural conversation between Alvin Bailey and these two actors, saying like, wow, ooh, I'm out of breath, like that was such a good workout. And one of them is saying, oh, let's go to this restaurant, let's go to this hookah bar afterwards, and Alvin's saying, no, I'm letting it go. And then we had an opportunity to share the stats on why. And so it was just a really fruitful partnership, and a lot came out of it. If you can get creative, I definitely recommend that. Also, include elected officials. Many of us know that our local elected officials are very busy people. So as much advance notice you can give them as possible, that would help. And quite a few of our elected officials are up for re-election. So they want opportunities to get in front of their community and their potential voters. So if you can frame it that way, take advantage of the season that's coming up. And also make it hyper local. So I would say all of our content, all of our stuff was very local to Atlanta. It was very culturally relevant. And then after the event, we took the opportunity to meet with nearly every city council member in Atlanta who would meet with us. And we showed them the recap videos. We of course, all of us are public health folks. We have the data, we have all that stuff. But sometimes, at least here in the South, these people don't care about the data. They want to know what their voters are saying. They want to know where the money is. Data is not really resonating with them. So we have the data, but these videos really resonated because they got to see hundreds of people in their district, who support this. So the video, taking that video into our meetings was very convincing. And, we're dealing with some preemption here in Atlanta that, or the state of Georgia, period, that makes it difficult to pass some of the policies that we were advocating for. But I will say, from our work that we have been doing, last fall, some city council members did introduce some zoning ordinances. They're trying to find ways to get around the preemption, but they did introduce a zoning ordinance that would prevent any tobacco establishment or retailer from setting up within 2,000 feet of any school, public, private, of any grade. And we know that came from our work, tirelessly knocking on the doors of these elected officials, showing them, hey, the community wants this. So yeah, so those were our meetings, and they were very successful. I will say I'm no longer lobbying on behalf of the AHA, so I'm not working on that campaign anymore. But I would say that we have to keep keep putting this issue in front of elected officials. We have to keep showing them this is what the community wants, because the tobacco industry is working very hard to show the total opposite. So that's why I say, you know, capturing the footage, doing really good post-event engagement is key so that you can see success beyond the day of the event. All right, so I am going to open up the floor for any questions that folks may have.
And first of all, thank you so much, Jasmine. You
Thank
did
you.
a great job, and I just appreciate you coming and sharing this concept with us here, especially in California.
Thank you.
Does anyone have questions for Jasmine?
Elon, are folks able to come off mute, or can they only put it in the chat?
I believe they can only put it in the chat.
Okay. All right, so we'll give folks a second. I know it may take some time to type questions in the chat, but these events, you know, while people are typing, if you have any questions, these events were just really amazing and just a joy to do. And I know our work sometimes can be a little discouraging, but I think that these events were really a bright spot in the whole timeline of the campaign. So I really do hope that folks replicate it. Even if you want to replicate it for other policy issues you may be working on, anything that's related to health and wellness, you can replicate this kind of event for any issue you're working on.
And for our attendees, I do want to let you know you can raise your hand and I can allow you to talk if you just had a general question.
Okay, so someone asked, may I ask about funding for the incentives? So I'm definitely happy to talk about funding and, you know, just being transparent with that. So Bank of America was our funder. So they have a health equity, it's called the Collaboration for Equitable Health initiative. And that initiative is happening in several states. Off the top of my head, I don't remember all of them, but I know for sure it's happening in Atlanta, it's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. I believe it's happening in Philadelphia, Detroit, and goodness, I really don't want to misspeak, but that initiative, the purpose of that initiative is really to funnel money into, cities and I guess states, but mostly I think cities with high need populations. And they kind of gave us free reign to decide how we wanted to use it to improve health equity in Metro Atlanta. And so we use that money on nutrition, some nutrition security work, and also on tobacco work. And so we did use the funding to pay for everything that you saw, partially everything you saw. Some funding did come from our community partners. So again, if you don't have, a funder, sometimes you may have a community partner that does. I would recommend, I don't know where everyone is located, but there's always there's an AHA in every state. And so maybe you can reach out to or connect with your local American Heart Association partners. Sometimes we have funding to do some similar work. So yes. All right, let's see. Next question. I may have missed it. Was there a workout session and a run walk? Yes, there was. And Elon did drop the video in the chat for y'all to review. But yes, there was a workout session. So I'll use Juneteenth for example. So how it worked was the workout starts, I believe, at 6:30, and many people begin to, pour in at 6 o'clock, and it's in Piedmont Park. So it's led by a gentleman, Alvin Bailey. He's basically telling people to run up and down this hill in the park and, do jumping jacks and do all these workouts. And hundreds of people are just there, just doing jumping jacks and running. And but before they started the workout, we had our table set up, and we gave away shirts, and we had our flyers or one pagers and our giveaways. And then they would do their workout, and then at the end, Alvin Bailey would allow us to say a few words to the whole group while they're all kind of still and sitting down. So yes, the workout would happen in the middle of the program or the run of show. And Mayor's question, the slides will be shared. Yes, they will. Yeah, I don't see any other questions, but
And for you, Jasmine,
yeah,
how much time did it take for you to prepare this community takeover?
great question. So at least a month of planning time at the very least, at the very minimum, because one, like I said, you want to invite elected officials. Two, you want to come up with a marketing plan and strategy leading up to, and it takes time to, to do that, to reach out to publications or newsletters, folks. You want to give at least a month of planning time. And yeah, at least 1 month, 2 months if you're someone who likes to plan ahead. But yeah, 1 to 2 months.
And I like how when you showed the video, we didn't have the sound, but it was still very powerful, and we all got the idea of what was happening. You had several different booths there or
Mhm.
vendors. How important is the collaboration aspect of this?
It's really important just because so the other vendor booths that you saw were from our community partners who work with us. We're in coalition, or we were in coalition together. So that partner was they're called Heart Coalition and or No Menthol Movement ATL. That's a coalition of a bunch of like national partners and local partners that were working to ban menthol in the city of Atlanta. So we all know the importance of coalition, and I can't do everything, so it's good to have people who they handle the marketing while I handle the elected official outreach. So we know that two heads are better than one. And also our community partners, they do a lot of cessation work, whereas I was just, kind of lobbyist. We don't offer cessation programming. So it was really important to have someone there who can say, hey, okay, maybe someone here is ready to quit. Maybe they need some support. And so we have someone ready to, support them as they need. And you all may have noticed in the second recap video, we did include the Georgia tobacco quit line. I don't know what will happen to that quit line now that we have a new administration, but then it was relevant and it was working. Okay. So, but I'm just saying, any event that we have, we always wanted to make sure that we had that cessation piece, folks who are doing the programmatic work, whereas I was kind of handling more of like the campaign work, the lobbying side of things, and really the event planning side of things too.
Did you get your local lead agency involved or reach out to them?
Local lead agency, you mean health
As far
agency?
as your health agency or your public health department, the local?
No, but that's a good idea. That's a new idea. Engage the local health department and let them know, and then they could share it with their listserv. You know what? Honestly, I may have, but they did not. I didn't show up, but sometimes they share out our sometimes our local health department will share out some of our events, so like with their listserv. So that's also really good. But I will say the good thing, and I want to make sure I highlight this for folks on the line, the good thing about taking over a standing event that's already happening is it's not a lot of legwork on your end to get people to come out. This group, whether it's a local run club in your city or a gym, they already have people that are coming out every week, whether you're there or not. So the good thing is that it's just a good opportunity for us to take over and take advantage of the captive audience. Any cancer organizations involved? So American Cancer, ACS, American Cancer Society, Cancer Action Network, they are involved, or were at the time at least involved in our local campaign here in Atlanta. So did they show up? They may have had a representative participate, but they were not one of our like vendors. But they are a part of our coalition, and even if they don't show up to an event, they definitely would share it out with their email listserv. So all the national organizations, American Lung Association, American Cancer Society, American Heart Association, you know, some of our local, like Center for Black Health and Equity, some local partners here in Atlanta, like all these national public health folks, they were a part of this coalition. Even if they weren't there, they weren't present, they knew about the event and they shared it with their networks as well. And they also gave us some feedback and advice on, you know, the logo, and, you know, it would remind us, make sure you have the tobacco quit line posted everywhere. So yeah, they were involved.
Okay, I have a question about monetary compensation.
Mm.
Did you have to pay the person that you were collaborating with? Did that person ask you for any type of incentive?
So I will say for the first event, no. And then I think he got hip to seeing that other organizations began to do the same thing that we were doing. You know, I guess shortly after that, hospitals began to reach out to sponsor his, you know, take over one of his workouts, and you know, they would be willing to pay. So I think that upped the price. So by the time we came back a second time around, there was a fee associated. But I don't think that would be the case for, you know, some of you all's local run clubs. They may just be happy to have someone coming, showing up with goodies and giveaways and stuff. So yeah. Good question though. He's really turned it into a business model, I will say. He now has a membership. He's monetized it all the way this year. Last year we were to catch it for free for the last time, and now he's monetized.
Smart man.
Yeah, he's smart.
Well, if there are no further questions, we will give you back 20 minutes, but we plan this for to only be about an hour. So we appreciate you joining us. It really does mean a lot. And please, oh, we have a raised hand. Carol?
Maybe that was an accident.
I don't know if maybe it was.
I'm putting my email in the chat in case anyone wants to reach out with any questions individually. Happy to help where I can.
Great. We appreciate you joining us. We will send all of the resources your way. And I look forward to connecting and engaging with our California folks. Let's put on a great event together. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.